So I have another video planned for this week, and it's going to be coming out soon in the next couple of days. But this new news, this demanded an immediate video. My friends, MMO veterans, MMO newbies, strangers who just happened to stumble upon this channel and decided to stay because you're amazing. Well, we have some exciting MMO news. We have a new MMO, and not just any new MMO. We have a new MMO announcement from a established producer that has made AAA games in the past and has a proven track record. We have an IP and a pre-existing IP that is interesting and ripe for a new world to be created. This is good, and it's very exciting and means a lot for the MMO space. But I also have some concerns, specifically with who is making the game. Stay tuned for that at the end. Credit where credit is due. It seems like the first place to get this news was MTN, a South Korean news site, and then followed by Video Games Chronicle, which sourced MTN. This has since been picked up by other news outlets like MMORPG.com, etc. The news that they picked up was that Sony and NC Soft are working on a new MMO, and they're currently recruiting for the project. What IP, you may ask? Well, how about grinding some mechanical dinosaurs with bows, arrows, spears, all in the 31st century. The report states that the MMO they're planning on making will use the Horizon Zero Dawn IP. Horizon Zero Dawn was developed by Guerrilla Games and for a few years was PlayStation exclusive until it launched on PC in 2020. Horizon Zero Dawn is interesting not just because of the setting, which is ripe for exploration in an MMO, because it'll provide developers with a ton of different directions to go in, but the fact there's a lot of potential hype coming for the game, with the series reportedly in development by Netflix, a VR game coming out in 2023, and rumors of an HD remaster of the original game, all on the heels of the sequel launch on the PS5 in early 2022, which, if we're following the similar kind of trajectory for PlayStation games going to PC, we may be getting Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West at some point in the next couple years on PC. But we have to talk about NC Soft. NC Soft is they're planning a lot in the future, a lot when it comes to MMOs. NC Soft, for those who do not know, is a massive video game developer and publisher. They are known for games like Lineage 2 and Guild Wars 2. Now, NC Soft is also currently recruiting developers to work on the title known as Project H, this MMO, which is interesting when you look at their previous MMO announcement for Project TL, which turned out to be Project Throne and Liberty. Throne and Liberty was recently delayed until 2023, a game that has essentially been in some sort of development since 2011, when it was originally going to be Lineage 3, and it was originally going to be a top-down isometric MMO. Throne and Liberty and the Riot MMO have been the hope for many MMO players for the future, but could NC Soft be setting itself up to dominate the MMO space for the next decade? There is a distinct possibility that NC Soft may be launching 3 MMOs in the coming years, with Throne and Liberty, Project E, which is supposed to be a companion to Throne and Liberty, and now Project H, the Horizon Zero Dawn MMO. Now, I raised the question when I covered the Throne and Liberty announcement alongside Project E, that could this potentially be a damaging move by NC Soft by oversaturating the MMO market, keeping in mind that there will probably be significant time gaps between the launch of these MMOs, as I'm not expecting Project H until closer to the end of the decade, but I'm still really not sure. This could be something that works out for them, but it still feels like they're gambling with some intense ambition. Are they potentially cutting some of their own audience in half or in 3 different places? Will there be a large enough part of the market share just for NC Soft with these games? And will they be different enough to appeal to multiple different MMO players? But it's not just NC Soft making this game. Sony is returning to their live service games. Sony back in May of 2022 said they plan to have 12 live service titles by 2026. Now, a live service game doesn't have to be an MMO, but an MMO is a live service game. Essentially, a game that is released and continues to add content, whether that's World of Warcraft or League of Legends. After buying Bungie, Sony Interactive Entertainment talked about live service and how by 2025, it would make up 55% of its budget, up from a mere 12% in 2019. This is an interesting bit of a U-turn for Sony, who sold off Sony Online Entertainment, which housed games like EverQuest, EverQuest 2, PlanetSide, DC Universe Online, even Lord of the Rings Online, back in 2015, which then became part of Daybreak Game Company. instead of Sony. SOE had been making live service games and MMOs since 1996 before it was sold off. As a fan of many of the games under SOE, I'm happy to see Sony delving back into the live service games, and especially with this new MMO announcement. Of those 12 games they plan to make that are live service, this could potentially be the only MMO. And keep in mind that as early as this is, it might shift from being an MMO to more of a multiplayer, smaller game. We've seen some games do this already, like Torchlight Frontiers becoming Torchlight 3. We'll just have to keep our fingers and toes crossed that not only will this MMO come out, but it'll actually be good as well. Now, it sounds like I finally have some time, a couple years maybe, to actually play Horizon Zero Dawn and learn some of the lore. What do you think about this? Are you excited about this announcement? Are you a huge fan of Horizon Zero Dawn? Do you think it'll translate into a great MMO? What do you think about NC Soft making this move? And are you excited about Sony coming back into the live service, into the potentially the MMO genre again? Or are you just done with them? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. Oh, not there, that's the wrong, this area over here. If you want to know more about the other MMO from NC Soft, the one that's probably coming out next year and is likely going to be the largest MMO launch of 2023, I did a video on it right over here, where I kind of covered the basics of the game and the announcement that they made. The success of that game, or its failure, may have a direct impact on Project H. My name is Redbeard Flynn. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.